Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age story. Yes, that's right. It's like Cocoon, only with the Zodiac man. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm the MysteriousJG, and I'm talking into my water bottle. It's copyrighted 2006 and 2017, so don't even think about, putting up videos of this on YouTube without permission. No, hold on a second. Although, my Halloween special, which, now by the time this video is public, my Halloween special should be, it might not be up yet, but, no, it's like a NES-era game where I got a copyright strike from some company I've never heard of for the end music, and I think they're trying to pull a fast one, but that's okay. So, last time we met, has it been 2 videos since we met Fran and Baltair, I guess is his name, or not? I don't know. I've been playing this game. I went into my first round, once I had a party of 3, I went into my first round of, epic grinding. So what we're actually going to do is load and then play through some stuff, and then we're going to load again and be significantly more powerful. But there is a little bits of dialogue and plot that you'll miss otherwise, because I wanted to have the full run of this dungeon, and every couple of screens you get a little bit of story. Although, I remembered one of my big complaints about this game being compared to Final Fantasy X, it seemed like the non-stop companion banter and stuff was just not there. But I guess you get later in the game before you get really big stretches of territory with no talking at all. At any rate, you'll see we're at levels 4, 5, and 5, and when we load state, to my mild embarrassment, but I realized that we kind of missed the boat with Pinello, but with everyone else, the first time they appear in the party as an actual selectable character, not as a guest, which will be explained later, their level and their LP will be based on kind of like what Van and the rest of the parties is. So getting these 3 together made it make sense to be the first time to grind, because we can kill stuff a lot faster than Van and Pinello could with 3 people. This means that we have a total of 6 playable characters. We've had 4 of them in the party up to this point. The last 2 should be, they will have benefited from the grinding that I did, because essentially when we load, I will have gone from levels 4 and 5 to everybody being at level 15, which is way over leveled for the boss at the end of this dungeon. But there you have it. The main reason I wanted to grind so much is I'm trying to get a bunch of the licenses, and this is kind of one of the most annoying parts of this game. So when you level up and get experience, your base stats increase, but you don't gain any new skills or abilities. Skills and abilities come, and even some stat increases, like you can see here, increase max hit points by 70. This, you can use these types of accessories, you can use this piece of equipment, you can use this special attack, all comes from what's called the license board, where you unlock stuff, and if I had 15 points, I could unlock light armor too. I guess I must have shown some of this off screen. And then that would reveal daggers too as a thing I could learn. The thing is, other than some boss characters and non-repeatable fights, higher level, more dangerous and difficult enemies give you more experience and allow you to level up faster. But all enemies, regardless of strength, give you 1 LP upon defeat. Other than, again, a couple of boss fights and unrepeatable fights. So, if you want to learn all the skills, you basically just have to grind really weak enemies. There's no advantage to fighting things that are threatening or powerful or strong. Which is really why I wanted to get these 3 characters together, and I've been running back and forth murdering stuff as fast as I could in this sewer dungeon. So there's no more reason to kill a rat than there is to kill anything else. Or less reason to kill a rat than to kill anything else, because it gives you the same amount of LP. Now, I'd mentioned in earlier videos about combos. If you keep killing the same kind of enemy, you get a combo built up. But I did a little reading, and just to make sure I understood that, yeah, that has to do with item drops. So when you see at the end of this leveling, I did have a run of like I'm going to intentionally run past the non-bat enemies and kill bats until I have a really high combo with bats and I'm getting the best possible item drops from bats. And I did the same thing for a little while with some enemies we'll be seeing shortly that are like toads. And then it became fairly easy to do the same thing with some enemies that look like little demons. So there's a couple of things where when we load, I'll have 99 quantity of some like random item that is only useful in like smithing recipes later in the game and selling for money. I also have like an inordinate number of bronze armors because one of the enemies that was a rare drop, and I had a combo meter, so I kept getting the rare drop. So I had like 25 bronze armors saved up, and nobody able to wear them because I don't have the right licenses. So anyway, I'm enjoying this LP so far, but the off-screen grinding could get pretty intense here, so we'll see. Anyway, let's forge ahead a bit and see if I can use this video to get to the point where I can load state. Not load state, just load the game. Then, there's something I want to check before we set out. As all I thought, after making him talk like Major Zero, you don't know much about gambits yet, do you? Listen carefully, I don't care to repeat myself. For each gambit, you can combine one action with a target for that action. Example, you can create you can arrange that cure be cast on any ally whose HP falls below 50%. Useful, that. That is extremely useful. That turns grinding into you move your characters around to make sure they're within striking distance of enemies, and then the party fights the enemy themselves. Of course, one error of judgment, and you could well find yourself throwing punches at that same ally. If you have a good head on your shoulders, it should come easily, though. I fear a more detailed explanation is in order. This is the Gambit screen. You can reach it from the party menu. By the way, JG has confirmed off-screen there is no way to skip this or to make it go any faster, other than slamming the X button. No matter how many times you've played through the game, you must watch these tutorials. To create a gambit, you need only select an action and a target for that action. Here, let me show you. I'll start by changing the action of one of my gambits. You changed first aid to potion. Wow. Now, whenever an ally gets hurt, I'll toss a potion his way. Charming, eh? Of course, that's a sure way to go through our stock of potions. So let's adjust the target to make sure things don't get out of hand. I can't even make this go faster. Now I'll only ever use potion when an ally's HP drops below 70%. That should be a little more bearable. Nothing to it, really. You can set a gambit's action to more or less any ability you have at your disposal. And yes, gambits are things you have to buy too. Like I have to buy the ability to use potions on people at less than 20% instead of less than 70%. For example, or eventually I'll be able to buy a gambit where the foe is flying enemies or undead enemies, because you're going to want to have different things that your character does depending on when and what type of enemy it is, etc., etc. A list of available actions. Press circle to exit, and I have to press circle. Targets aren't so simple. You'll have to pick up new ones from gambit shops. Of course, you can manually control your main character, but manually controlling all three party members slows things down considerably. A list of available targets. Press circle to exit. But that isn't all. You can also prioritize your gambits. Allow me. Fran is in the background going, "What kind of accent am I supposed to have anyway? Oh, I just turned Irish." The gambit in the first slot always takes priority. As it stands now, even if an ally's HP starts to fall, should there be foes near, I'll only attack. For which I could rightly be criticized. In general, it's better to prioritize healing before attacking, vitality before violence, if you like. Oh, another thing. You can turn gambits off and on here from the gambit screen, as well as from the battle menu. Of course, gambits won't do you much good if they're turned off. Still, discretion is often the better part of valor. If you need to beat a hasty retreat, try turning gambits off first. It's hard to fall back when your allies insist on picking a fight. Well, that's the long and short of it. I'll set my gambits as they were before we started. Feel free to change them later if you like. We're like to come across new actions and targets, so don't be afraid to experiment with new gambit combinations. But don't put all of your faith in any one combination. With each passing day, the world finds new and exciting ways to kill a man. For snoring too loud. Be flexible. If you find yourself up against beasts that don't take well to fire, create a gambit to cast fire on nearby foes. Likewise, should we face a creature that uses poison, a gambit to cast Poisona on poisoned allies just might come in handy. A bit much to take in? Don't let it worry you. You're in good company. Yes, these sewers are thick with the bones of others who had similar difficulties. Oh, I thought he was saying that he and Fran were a good company to be in and they'd take care of me. But no, he was saying that lots of people get murdered for not knowing gambits. Let's be off then, shall we? Let's get down to business, shall we? That being the case, I did at least pick their... I did at least give him the basics of CQC. I gave him fire, which we'll need. We have a kind of like a little minor boss battle coming before the first time that we will load and all be like way over leveled. And I do want to change one thing up though, because I realized that she actually has... I'm not sure why she knows it, because she shouldn't. She has essentials, which everyone starts with. Somehow she starts with cure magic. I guess it's left over from the original game, where everybody has, like, you don't choose people's job or class. And I guess she starts with white magic, like basic white magic in that. So she knows cure. And that's the only spell she knows, as far as I can make out. Which basically means I shouldn't have her using this Goddess's Magicite item, which takes away all your MP, because she can get some usage out of this. Out of magic, whereas right now, Van doesn't have anything to use magic points on. Because I found out his skills that he's got, he has like some techniques, as it were. Oh no, he also has white magic of cure? I thought he didn't have any magic at all. Because I would have thought they gray out people who don't have the skill. But I guess it doesn't quite work that way. Anyway, no, Balthier and Fran both seem to have cure, and he doesn't. But he does have steel and liber... Oh, I'm dumb. You can see it's underneath everybody's names there. So Balthier doesn't currently have cure, but Fran does. That's interesting. I apparently got very confused at some point because I thought he had cure. Why would a black mage have cure? There's no real reason he would. So I'm pretty clearly off base. And I'm spending way too much time worrying about this, considering that we don't actually use Gambit. Okay, I know Gambit's got it. Do nearest visible target. He's got first aid on ally at less than 50%. Or maybe I'll go with less than 30%. And then she is going to go with ally less than 30%. Cure. And there you go. And now I'll actually go back to that magic crystal so that she can have an actual MPs to do. We won't save though. And we'll see if we can't get to the end of... Hey, fallen soldiers.
Insurgents, Most like they thought to take advantage of a lax watch at the palace while the fate's on.
Sorry I didn't voice act that Gambit tutorial.
For his supper. I should think Vane used to such hospitality. Clever. He used himself as the bait to draw them near, and then sent in the air brigade. A fine bloody banquet.
But jerk.
I dare say I've soiled my cuffs. If a dungeon's waiting for us at the end of the night, it had best have a change of wardrobe.
How did you soil your cuffs, man? Were you like down there pawing at the corpses? I'd take you with us if I could, but there's just no time. Sorry. Sorry I can't loot your corpses. I know you'd like that. You'd like to help us because we're the heroes and, you know. Anyways. So here's a handy little urn. It has the power of the Undertaker. But it gives us a map of the waterway. Oh, by the way, now that I've grinded up to level 15, I think I am going to go back and buy maps from those Mughals, even though I was mocking the concept before. But as you can basically see, we're going to make our way south, then west, then north. And even though it looks like we can go to Lowtown and like the save crystal, we actually need to make our way east. I kind of wish I had a cursor I could show you what I'm talking about. We're right underneath the word Lowtown is where we're actually heading. Because we're not going to be able to get to... Even though it looks like we should be able to go there, we're not going to be able to go to... direct to just getting back into the town. We got a rat pelt, folks. And we got precious LP. We got lips. So, setting yourself to attack the nearest enemy gives you a little bit more ability to manipulate the situation. But, you know, for a decent chunk of my grinding, I also was going with setting it to attack the enemy with the lowest hit points, just so that you could finish enemies off. I'm intimately familiar with every nook and cranny of this fictional fantasy sewer now, having off-screen here for a while, but I don't particularly feel compelled to show all of it off here. There are little side paths that lead to treasure boxes, but the treasure boxes in this game work kind of strange. They respawn. They have things that they... I was definitely getting the same treasure items from the same treasure boxes with some kind of frequency. So it seems like every treasure, every like pre-programmed treasure box, like see for example, we could go this way. There's a little path here. There's may or may not be treasure boxes up there guarded by enemies. It's kind of random. But they wouldn't even drop the same thing every time. Like some of them would drop a potion most of the time, and then maybe every, you know, every so often, instead of dropping a potion, it would drop a piece of armor or something. Oh, Fran, you gonna heal? So, at first I was trying to grind against the, I feel like I set up something wrong with the gambits. Why is she not... Yeah, why is she not trying to heal? Okay, now she is. Seems like first aid fails a lot. So at first, I spent like... I don't know, maybe hours grinding against those bats. But, like going out of my way to attack them first. First aid always seems to... Oh, you have to be critical before it affects you. Yeah, first aid rarely seems to work. MP comes back over time, which is super handy because you can actually use your freaking magic, like low-level cure spells and stuff between battles, and by the time you get into another battle, you've probably got most of it back. And there's various things on the license board where, you know, if you you deal damage, you get MP. You take damage, you get MP. There are little things to keep your MP replenished, which is super handy. I probably, when I get to my actual game file that we're using for reals, want to... Because I didn't get first aid because I finally reread the description. I probably need to set everybody who doesn't have cure magic to have first aid on HP critical allies as a gambit. But yeah, then I was trying to fight those frogs, but it was kind of more of a hassle because there were enemies other than the frog. Like, I found a screen where I could run past the frogs easily enough and just fight bats, and I was able to get a big combo meter against the bats. And the frogs are a lot more resilient than the bats, so if you get in a situation where your party members land a blow or two on the frogs, but you're not trying to kill the frogs, you have time to react and get out of that situation. It was a lot harder to grind on the frogs because the bats kept getting in the way, and you couldn't always convince Fran and Baltier to stop killing bats in time for you to break your own combo chain. But I got it up reasonably high, and then realized that, you know what, I'm actually getting better experience if I go to the next area and fought different enemies there. Even though I said I wasn't going to explore all the nooks and crannies. Yeah, there's a treasure chest up here. Let's see what it is. An ether. That's pretty good. There's all different kinds of nonsense dropping. Like, I came out of this with lots of white cotton shirts and bronze armor. I have a bunch of dark motes, which are the item. Like, I kept thinking those wind stones and fire stones enemies were dropping were attack items. They're not. In this game, there's something called motes, which does elemental damage, and it's an item that you can just use. So this looks like a place for this treasure, but it seems like treasure never dropped there. And I think plot is about to happen after we hit this save crystal, if I recall correctly. Like I said, it's actually been hours. So I got really bored with grinding and actually went ahead a little bit and then decided, you know what, no, we're not going to go here. So I'm saving over a slot here that was actually the next area of the game. I guess I was curious how difficult it would be to defeat the boss. And boy, you know, didn't need to get all the way up to level 15 to make that fight winnable. So let's see what's going on with the story. Ooh, chicken biker shorts.
Close ranks, bring her down.
So you would be next.
Jump down.
Get up, and jump down. Let's jump around. And you don't get to jump down from there later. He's stronger than he looks. I don't know that I could have caught a full-sized woman, like, flying at you at that kind of speed.
And our troubles with them.
She fell from a pretty great height. She had terminal velocity going. Anyway, just for the hell of it, we can try to steal from these guys. There's not a whole hell of a lot of point. Looks like one of them has Protect. Maybe I'll steal from that one, and maybe I'll have... him use fire on the one who's got Protect on. Matter of fact, this thing will go a lot faster if he just uses fire a lot. See, these guys are dropping 2 LP each. Because they're a non-repeatable semi-boss battle. Did he use blind instead of fire? Something looks strange there.
You all right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm Vaughn, and this is Balthier, and hey!
Well, Fran
What's your
could have been
name?
introduced.
Amalia.
What are you, stupid? I'm on the cover art.
Amalia, huh? Nice to meet you.
There were others with me.
Also on the
sorry.
cover art.
No.
You're not sorry.
Oh, now isn't that impressive?
Don't get any ideas. I said it's mine.
I'm afraid the jury's still out on that one.
You stole
But-
that?
I've got it equipped.
Yeah.
Have you finished? When the guards don't report in, they'll come looking for us.
If they aren't already.
Sure thing, Commander Troy.
You should come with us. Better than being by yourself.
Very well.
What's wrong with her?
She's not very grateful.
You have a lot to learn before we even get started on your thievery.
I know who she actually is,
What's
apparently.
that mean?
So I guess we have to walk up to her before another plot scene will immediately trigger? Yeah. Sure. Why did we break it up at all?
The situation requires I accept such help as I find.
Even you, lowly
Though it
scum.
be from thieves. I shall accompany you until we find my companions. No
Consider
longer.
yourself grateful.
Let's think of her as a guest then.
As a bitchy
Unlike
guest.
Fran or myself, our guest probably won't be taking orders from anyone anytime soon. And she'll leave when she pleases.
She's a bit stuck up.
So we keep to our affairs and she to hers.
Although
And
our
we'll
affair
find
will
her wanting
consist
in
mostly
valor,
of killing
being
lots of
such an
monsters.
outstanding member of the insurgents.
Resistance.
Terrorists. Freedom fighters. It's getting all Metal Gear on us now.
What are we waiting for?
Well, I'm waiting for you to finish your little tutorial about guests. Unlike other party members, guests can only use certain actions and abilities. Alright. So when I said there was a mini-boss, I didn't actually mean them. There's another... I forgot about that fight. We have a proper mini-boss fight coming up. Although, again, the simplest thing to do would just be to... let's see, 10:34 a.m. I think was the last one where I was just grinding. I do not want to accidentally save over that one. So, I think the best thing to do on this next little mini boss battle that's coming up is probably to just have everybody stick with their gambits, and I'll just manually make Balthier use fire on dudes until that's no longer a thing that makes sense to do. So with her, we can mess with gambits, just not equipment. And that's probably about the gambit that we want her to have anyway. So we have Fran as like backup. Fran has got some... Yeah, that's some weird outfit you got on, Fran. Everybody's dressed looks like some goofy fantasy character, but Fran in particular. That tells you. Alright, so I think we'll call it a video here, and when we come back, I believe the very first thing that happens with her in our party is another little mini boss fight. So we've got that to look forward to next time. Bye-bye.